Hi, I would like to share some tools and techniques that I have used to cultivate inner peace and stillness. Today specifically, I would like to talk about the power of the breath and how you can utilize your breath to cultivate inner peace and stillness. Take a moment to pay attention to your own breathing and notice if it's deep or shallow. Are you breathing from your chest or from your belly? You can notice when you're breathing from your chest and from your belly. You can notice when you're breathing straight from your chest as opposed to straight from your belly. It can also help to lay down if you're not used to breathing from your belly. Oftentimes, when people don't take deep breaths on a regular basis, when they first do it, they may feel lightheaded. So as we begin these practices, please feel free to find a comfortable place for you to sit. Let's first begin by focusing in on those deep breaths. One easy and simple technique as you're breathing into your belly is first begin to see if you can get your exhales to be longer than your inhales. Maybe breathe in for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 7. And maybe do this 3 to 4 times to help cultivate a relaxing state of being. Oftentimes when we're stressed, our breathing may be shallow. And just by focusing on taking deep breaths, we can cultivate a more relaxing state to help us tackle our difficult situations. See how you feel after a few cycles. Taking deep inhales and exhales. See if you notice a difference after you take 3 or 4 deep breaths. Breathing fully into your belly and exhale slowly out. Now, oftentimes in breathing meditations, you may notice that there's various focuses on how to breathe in and how to breathe out. Oftentimes it's recommended to breathe through your nose and exhale through your mouth. One thing to note is that when you breathe out through your mouth, you give yourself an opportunity to exhale all of that energy you wish to release. Sometimes in releasing techniques, it's often recommended to imagine breathing in to a balloon or breathing on to a painting or a flower. Anything to release the toxic, negative energy that you feel within you. And you keep exhaling all of it out, visualizing it until it's all gone. On a painting, can be a distorted painting of all this negative energy that you can burn away with a blue flame. Or a balloon you can tie up and release into the universe. The idea is to give yourself permission to release whatever it is that you feel like you're holding on to and you're ready to let go of. You can even breathe into stress or tension you have on your body, maybe your neck, your shoulders, your back, and exhale it out. And allow your body to shift into further relaxation on each exhale. And realign on each inhale to more positive energy. Allow yourself to move however it is you feel inspired to move. Breathing in through your belly and exhaling out your mouth. If you would just like a quick way to cultivate inner peace and stillness, oftentimes breathing with something that keeps you distracted, keeps your mind away from wandering. Sometimes practitioners are given mantras to follow, or visualizations, or even counting. You can even use the ABCs. You find a way that helps you stay focused on your breath. And when you're not focused on your breath, you focus on something that you can easily let go of. No attachments. Let's use the ABCs. You take a deep breath. And on the exhales, in your mind or out loud, you say as much of the ABCs as you can. A, B, C, D, E. Go as fast or slow as you wish. Breathe in and continue where you left off. F, G, H, I, J, K. L, M, N, O, P. And you continue till you get to the end. X, Y, Z. And when you get there, see if you can continue backwards. Z, Y, X. Or if that's too hard, start again from A. And if you forget where you're at, just continue back from the very beginning. The idea is not necessarily to continue a certain amount, but to allow yourself to get distracted, to let go of your worries and your problems, to focus on your inhales and give yourself something to be distracted upon. You may find after some time that you forget completely to say the ABCs, or to count, or your mantra, or your visualization. And you're there in stillness and breathing. And whenever it is you feel ready, you can open your eyes. Another breathing technique that I found super helpful. I remember when I first started meditating, and we would go through a variety of breathing techniques and meditation techniques, and one of them was following your breath. And honestly, I thought it was the most boring. I could not stay focused on my breath. My mind would wander constantly. I didn't understand how I can stay focused on my breath. What about my breath was I supposed to focus on? The inhales and exhales. There didn't seem to be much detail involved. It wasn't until I read this book, Focus. In the book, they talked about the power of focus and how when our mind wanders, when we're attempting to multitask, that really we have divided of attention to whatever it is that we're doing. We're going back and forth in our mind between one thing and another. And I decided I wanted to find out what would happen if 100% of my attention was on my breath. And I took it as an opportunity to say, whenever it is that my mind wandered, I would bring that attention back to my breath and focus more deeply, more profoundly on my breath. And to start it, I discovered a technique that worked really well for me to get myself 100% focused on my breath while also not controlling my breath. So my focus wasn't on forcing my breath, but observing my breath. So the technique started as this. I would take a deep breath, as big as I could, and hold it. And I would hold it for as long as I could, until I could hold it no longer. Obviously not until the point where I'm going to pass out, but to the point where I felt I needed to exhale. And the trick here was when I needed to exhale, I wasn't going to force the exhale. I wasn't going to blow it all out, fast or slow. I was just going to let go of my breath that I've been holding and observe how my body naturally exhales, fast or slow. And then I would allow it to exhale for as long, fast or slow, that my body felt compelled to. And again, not force the inhale, but observe when my body felt the need, the desire, the compulsion to inhale once again. And there, I would watch and observe that rhythm of breath. I would notice where the breath started. What was that transition like? From inhale to exhale to inhale. When I didn't force the inhale or the exhale, how fast or slow was it? I would notice the desire to force the inhale or the exhale, as if my body wasn't going to breathe on its own if I didn't force it. And if at any point I felt myself controlling the breath again, wherever I was at on the inhale or the exhale, I'll continue with the inhale and then hold the breath like I did in the beginning. Or if I was on the exhale, I would allow myself to exhale fully and completely, getting all the air out of my body, and hold it for as long as I can, until I could hold it no further and my body wanted to inhale. I would do this for as long as I felt compelled to, with the idea of observing what happens when I put 100% focus on my breath and I don't control it. I just observe. And every time my mind wanders, every time I hear something distracting me, like the barking of the dogs going off, my mind barking at me, telling me to focus, to listen, that I need to pay attention. I know that I don't. This time is reserved to observe, to see what happens if I only focus on my breath, to see how I feel. Allow myself to let go of everything else. Then afterwards, if I decide that there's something that I want to resolve, an inner conflict, see if I have a different perspective from this place of calmness. Maybe there's an emotion that I wish to cultivate, a state of being I wish to be in. See if I can feel that rise in my body. It's a sensation of love, compassion, joy, serenity, self-worth, and love. Allow myself to feel better. While practicing breathing techniques, it can be easy to think, I need to focus on this. I need to resolve this. I need to find a solution to this. If you reflect and maybe notice all the times that we allow ourselves to worry, to stress about a particular situation and circumstance, oftentimes with no resolution, minutes, hours, days, weeks. How much time do we spend worrying, afraid, concerned? No solution, no peace. But what happens if we give ourselves time to breathe? Say, okay, I am stressful. I am worried. I don't know what to do. And I'm going to give myself some self-love, some time to relax. Because I know just by taking a few deep breaths, slowing down, my body will relax. Muscle tension will relax. And if I keep it up, my mind can come to a calm state where it may be easier to accept the situation that I'm in, the challenge ahead of me, and think more clearly about what is it that I wish to do. How do I want to handle this situation? When dealing with a difficult situation, something that keeps coming up, I find no resolution, cycling, stress and worry. I don't know what to do. I don't know if there's something for me to do. Here are some ways that I found that helped me cultivate inner peace. One, when I catch myself worrying, stress, trying to figure out what to do. take a moment to think. Take a moment to breathe. Because I know I'm taking some deep breath that's going to help me think more clearly. See if I can connect to how I feel about the situation. What are my worries? Take a moment to think. Is there anything else in this situation or circumstance that would benefit me to be aware of, that I feel that I need to know? Maybe it's more deeply about what my values are, what are my concerns. Maybe expanding my awareness to greater compassion to the other, to what they're going through. Sometimes it even helps to visualize the situation or circumstance from a third-party perspective, as if I'm floating above the situation. Imagining before and after the situation, what's going on with me or what's going on with the other person. Maybe imagine the other person's internal dialogue, what suffering they may be going through, how they may be thinking about the situation or stressed. Taking in all the information I feel called to take in, until I feel like there's nothing else more that I need to know. Till I feel there's nothing else more I need to learn about this situation or circumstance. I feel like I see everything or know everything that's relevant to me right now. Take a moment to see how that may help create a shift on its own. Do you have more clarity? Maybe still the question of what do I do? How do I create the shift or the change that I wish to create? I don't know. I'm still worried about it, how to handle the situation. So I continue with the breathing. I tune into myself. Is there something that I feel called to do? Maybe there's a conversation that I need to have. Maybe there's something I need to address. Maybe I need to set boundaries. Maybe I need to let somebody know how I feel or what's bothering me. Maybe then still, I feel like I said everything that I feel I need to say and expressed myself. I said my boundaries. I see the situation as clearly as I can. And yet still there's no resolution. Still it's not working out the way I want it to work out. At this point, I say I've done my part. I said and did everything that I feel I'm called to do and say. I said and did everything that feels right to me to do. There's nothing else more without it feeling forced. As if I'm trying to control the situation, trying to control the outcome. From now, I breathe and I let it go. There's nothing else for me to see. There's nothing else for me to learn. There's nothing else for me to say or do. Then there's no other reason for me to be focused on this. There's no other reason for me to think about this. So I can let it go until it comes up again, and I can go through this process once again to see if there's more information, more for me to learn, something new for me to say or do. And if there's not, I continue to let it go. All we can do is do the best to live in alignment with our values and what feels right to us. And once we've done that, we can move on and continue with our life in alignment with our values and what feels right for us. Another method that I found to help identify how to best move forward in a situation or circumstance. Let's say I feel like there's all these obstacles in front of me. There's all these blocks in my mind. And metaphorically, or even maybe like realistically, there's things that are stopping me from moving forward in the way that I want to move forward. And I don't know what my path is and how to move past this. I just keep seeing these obstacles. One technique that I have cultivated was, again, to go back first to the breath. Wanting to cultivate that inner stillness, inner peace, and connection with what is really important to me. And at this time and moment, maybe that inner connection is clouded with all these obstacles. So I take those deep breaths and I imagine all those obstacles, all those thoughts and ideas and beliefs symbolically in my body as this like dark energy, slush maybe. You know, because maybe it's like, how do I get rid of this pain that I'm feeling, you know, in my shoulders or in my legs? How do I get rid of this tension? How do I move forward in the path that feels most aligned to me? And I feel like this energetic block in my legs, in my hips, and moving forward. Maybe it's just all just in my mind, and I see it there. I take those deep breaths, and I slowly but surely imagine all of that dark energy just coming together to my mind. Everything up. So it's all there together, or maybe even I visualize it in front of me. Like externally in front of me in my mind's eye. I see it as blocks and boulders, maybe in front of me. Or a huge wall. Maybe just symbolically of these relationships, these people, these situations, just all of them there in front of me, they're causing me stress, I feel, that are pushing me and pulling me. I should do this, I shouldn't do that, I need to do this, I have to do that. All of those things right there in front of me. I see everything there, and I know that my path, what feels right to me, is beyond all of these obstacles. There's a step for me to take forward. And I know if all these obstacles weren't in my way, I would see it. And so I imagine that answer is just right beyond them. Right beyond all this stuff I see in my mind's eye in front of me. I just allow that visualization of the answer of what is my next step, what feels most right for me, most in alignment with me, right beyond this step, right beyond all these obstacles, these worries and concerns, the stress. And as that answer feels more and more alive, just beyond these obstacles, in whichever way that feels right to me, in one swoosh, everything is moved out of the way and the answer becomes clear. Maybe you visualize the wall and you jump over that wall, and right beyond that wall is your answer. Maybe you blow everything up to smithereens, or it gets lifted like this light just shines through and everything breaks apart, and your answer is right there in front of you. Tune in to the answer and know it to be your truth. See how true it feels and right it feels. Those obstacles don't matter. Oftentimes, an obstacle is not even in our path. We get fixated and stuck on thinking that there's this huge boulder we need to get around. We don't know how to climb over it, but there's a whole nother path for us to take, full of love and joy and excitement. And as we take that path, we realize we get to the other side of that boulder, and we never even had to address it, because it wasn't something for us to address.